Here we go. How are you all doing? Well, this is going to be a demonstration of bringing a map into the tour system based on the city map we have so far. Um, it's not going to be the most ideal starting template, um, but I want to show that we can bring another map right off Marketplace using the existing map we have right now, and there's nothing special about that big, massive city map. So this is the Sun Temple that was part of Marketplace. It was a UE4 project. I reopened it. Um, I made a separate copy, of course, because I don't want to mess up the UE4 copy. So you made a copy, changed the um, version it would open under, and had it open as a UE5 project and save it. And I have that right here in this Drive G. This is another copy of a pristine version of the Sun Temple. One thing you always want to do, if maybe your method of copying is a zip, you will have to open the project, and you should do this anyway. Just make sure that everything you start with is clean and running and working, because you don't want to. If there are complications, we know it's not the map itself, or that some other factor kicked in. So here we are. This is what it looks like. By the way, you'll see the player start. We'll have to modify that when we get it into our game. I'm not going to do it here. This is my pristine copy. But the player here, if you were to play this, is actually just a camera. I'm going to do that. It's not an avatar. So you see, it's just a camera. Of course, it responds to bouncing off of walls and that kind of thing. What we're going to do is from here, what do we want from here? Um, I don't want the gameplay mode of the camera from here. I just want the map. I want this beautiful room, and I want to bring it into my other project, which has a city right now. And I'm going to leave it in there temporarily, just to show you that multiple maps can be involved. So I'm going to go ahead here, hit Shift F1 so I can close this. And we've done all we need to do here. We know this works. If we need to make any modification to this particular map, we'll do it after we have migrated it. Okay. So I want to show you now getting the city map ready. You will want to have made a copy of it. So I'm going to, I don't know. This is just a habit of mine. Save all before I quit or do anything. And I'm just going to close this. Okay. So there's my Sun Temple project. I know it works under UE5. It plays under UE5. It's ready to be used as a source for a new map. I'm going to look here for the Sun City. What I did is I copied this over, and it's basically exactly the same version of the other map. I'm going to use a copy because you always want to keep a copy. We're going to be editing this special, and for the purpose of adding the sun map, you don't want to risk destroying your original. So what I'm going to do is, I've already done this earlier, obviously. You could have zipped it and started it up, got all the intermediate and the binary files all set up. And yeah, but even then, even if you just copied it straight over, always a good idea to make sure that everything works in the project we're about to use before we use it and start making changes to it. So I'm going to fire that up right now, and I'm going to use it, make sure it runs. I'm going to kind of do a little walkthrough exercise to make sure all the functions are working, and then we'll do the process of migrating in the new map, hooking it up, and then trying to run the tour instead of just the city map, choosing the sunroom. Now, one thing I'm going to point out that you're going to want to have when we do the migration and we load things in is you want an image. Now, this is kind of blurry, but that's because I scaled it up. In normal resolution, it's kind of like something like this, and that's pretty good for the map icon. If you don't have one with the project, they happen to have one here for this one. But if you don't, just make one. Best to make it while you have the sunroom open, because we are gonna need it. We're gonna need a texture. Okay. Um, good. So let me get to the city park, exercise it, make sure that it is fully functional because this is a copy. And I want to make sure the copy didn't go bad, the zip didn't go bad, everything's all good because we want everything to be really good um, before we start migrating in the sunroom and before we hook it up to the tour system. So at this point, the way I set up the run uh, for testing is it always going to launch standalone game and launch two. That means they will be two separate processes. That's as close as you can get running on the same computer to saying I have two computers running. That means, of course, performance-wise, both both windows are not going to be quite as good as they would be as if they were running on separate computers. And it's emulating or simulating running over land in the background. So when one window has focus, it'll be fast. When the other one doesn't, it won't. But that problem will go away when you're on separate computers. So that's the default setting just for my quick testing. I'm gonna close that. I'm just gonna hit play and let's get it going. And again, also another factor for slowing me down, I will caution you, is that I am doing the OBS on the same computer and the recording on the same computer. So it will slow me down a little bit, but this is to show you how things work. Now, right now we have two windows that have opened up here. I'm just going to, for the sake of demo, grab one of them and make kind of do something like that. Then I'm going to grab the other one and resize the window a little bit. Might be making a little different. Oh, I can go a little bigger here, can I? Yeah, I will. All right. So there we are. Both um, both execute programs are running literally on the machine. They are acting as two independent executable programs that could be on multiple machines. Again, when I'm on this one, this window will be slow. When I'm on this window will be slow just because of the way we hook this up. Over the network, this will have an entire computer to support it. This will have an entire computer to support it. That won't be an issue. Not to say, it's not impossible to have lag. If we have really heavy characters or really heavy um, other activities, things could get a little slow. But let me show you my exercise I do to make sure everything's at least working. So I'm going to pick one of them. I'll start over here, and I'm going to say host a tour. We can't do anything without a tour. We got to have a tour. So I'm going to call this test tour. Test tour. We only need two because the two of us. So I'm going to say start my lobby and be patient because we're doing a lot on this computer. Your mileage may vary depending on your computer and your network when you're testing this with other people. Okay, so we see the test tour is up. I have the options for starting the tour, tour settings, which will be important for our test today. Choose character. Um, I usually do this here just to make sure this is working. I'm going to choose a metahuman. All right. And one thing I'll remind you to toggle your menu on and off is T, like so. I'm hitting the T key. And to toggle on and off the chat menu is the bottom page down button. I'm doing it now. I'm going to leave them on for the moment. I'm going to come over to one of my guests who's right now on my machine, but could be on a PC on my local LAN or someone who connected through Photon in the future. So I'm going to say find a tour, and it's going to look on my LAN right now and find me. If it doesn't, it will tell you and go back to the main menu and say, I didn't find a session. And yeah. And again, if something happens to the person who is hosting, the session goes away, you bounce back to the main menu, and yeah, because without a host session, there's nothing to do. I'm going to change my character just to make sure this is working. I'm going to choose this character. Again, Ready Player Me always uses this default avatar because it takes time to go to the network, download the character, and get it running. So don't keep changing don't keep changing RPM characters a lot, like successively every few seconds, because you could overflow the GLTF buffer, um, and as a result, your executable might freeze up. Um, change it, give it a chance to settle down, because there's a lot going on. You're going to the internet, you're downloading it, and then once it's in here, it's got to put it all together. And if you're hitting change character every second with Ready Player Me characters, you risk the possibility that your executable might actually freeze up and quit. Um, just one of the things that can happen with Ready Player Me. Of course, one of the things we're going to see is we don't get to travel with these avatars. I usually say find the avatars just so people know what avatar they want to be when they get there. And it's a little bit easier to change avatars here in the lobby. Um, so I'm going to say, yep, I'm going to say welcome, welcome. And you see the message, and I'm going to say thank you. And you see we have a chat. Okay, one of the reasons there is a bug right now when we travel, if here in the client, and you can tell because you don't have Start Tour, you have your menu and chat active on top, it's going to overlay the menu when you arrive. And that's going to leave you in a bad spot because you won't be able to turn this off and it's going to block your access to the menu. So for the moment, we will work on fixing this, but for the moment, before you travel, before I come over here and hit Start Tour, clients, for your sake, for your comfort, need to have turned off the menu and turned off the chat. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to hit T, turned off the menu, page down, and I've now turned off the chat. Now, again, you have no control. These guests have no control over where we go. The only one who can control where we go is here. So in tour settings, you'll see that I have a selector map. Right now, it both go to the same location, but we'll be able to, we'll see in the demo today that we can set up two locations, the sunroom. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just go back on that, and I'm going to say, let's start the tour. Again, I'm in full control. You don't have to do anything about selecting the map we go to. I'm in control. I'm going to say, we're starting the tour. And depending on your computer and your customers' and client computers, this could take a while. Generally on clients, it's going to take them a little bit longer to download the destination, especially one as big as the city park. The city park is big. It's going to load, and even while we appear to already be there, it may be loading in the background. So keep in mind for the first few minutes, things could be sluggish as you arrive there. Again, it's going to arrive looking pretty fresh, um, like the tour, because eventually we hope to do, where you could pop from place to place. Again, it'll always be the person hosting who has control of where we're going. So we're gonna go get our character again. I changed my mind. I'm going to be this character here, And again, that will take a few minutes to load. It might be a little bit slower here in City Park because the City Park is pretty big, and that's just kind of the way that goes. And um, again, I'm going to say welcome. Does it work? A little slower here. So we see we have the chat window. I'm going to change my avatar as the tour person. I think I will go with this one. I changed my mind as well. And I'm give it a few minutes to load. Um, because we're dealing with access to the internet for these characters, it is possible for GLTF runtime to have issues. Um, and if you've just got 20 people into a room and particularly if you're the host, you don't want to have that problem because all 20 people are going to get bounced back to the main menu. And the person who causes it, the guest who causes that to happen, could find himself left out of the tour because it's already left. There's no way to join after it's left. So take your time, especially if it's a big map. Let things settle. So I'm just going to do a quick test here. I'm going to hit T. I'm going to go this one, hit T. I'm going to go to this one, hit T. And as you can see, I'm completely responsive, but it's slow. It's slow. You're not seeing me as quickly as you would like. I don't. Where are you? You're not over there. Oh, that's my little. If you're the server, I deposit the silver guy. Yep, that's a feature. That's a feature. Yeah, that way you know where the tour host started. Okay? Yeah, yeah, it's not a bug. I know people will tell you it's a bug. It's not. It's not. There you are. So if I go to you see that now I'm not sluggish. But if you're looking at me in the server, you notice I'm a little sluggish. Again, part of that is because both of the server and the client are running on the same machine. That will help being on separate machines. Um, but once you have the focus, you'll notice I'm like completely responsive. It's quick. I can run around. The graphics are coming in nice and quick. Everything. I'm getting caught in the trees. Yes, there is collision in these plants. Believe it or not, lots of it, and it's all good. Um, the only one who might have issue is other people as lag and other factors kick in might not see you as quickly. But when you're in your window and your focus, it's pristine. Which is where the focus needs to be. Windows is saying, I'm the primary window, you're a secondary. I'm going to focus my resources on this window. So we know it works. How do we go back? Again, here I have no way to go back. The only person who can take me back and let me go, well, I could go like that. That's not recommended. Um, I'm going to go to the tour and say, we're done. Allison, you don't have to be nice like that, but why not? Why not be nice? Learn courtesy in the virtual world, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring up my menu. Oh, I got to bring up my T. And I'm going to leave the lobby. Because I am leaving the lobby, well, you could leave the lobby, actually. You can leave the lobby. I'm going to hit T. You can leave the lobby and go back to your main lobby and do whatever you want. But I want to show you this, that if I leave the lobby as a server, I force you to leave the lobby. And I go back. We are now two independent programs. You could go join another tour or form one of your own. I can form my own tour and get people to join mine, etc., etc. So we know it works. I'm going to quit both of them, and we're good to go. All right, let me now show you the process to get them in, because I showed you the testing process so you understand what your goal is. Our goal is to bring in the sunroom and be able to select the sunroom and do the tour in the sunroom. So my old habit of file save all before I start. All right. So what I'm going to do, um, and this is going to really make my machine busy for a few minutes. So I'm going to be really careful here. I'm going to go back out to where I have my Sun City, and the good news is this is a small project, so we should be okay. And I'm going to launch it. What I need to do is I need to migrate the map within, not this one, not Sun City. I'm sorry, the Sun Temple. I want to launch the Sun Temple, and I want to migrate out the map within Sun Temple into the city. So I'm going to fire this up and hope we don't blow up because things are going to get real busy for a minute. And I'm going to recommend make sure you shut this down. I didn't last time, and you start running out of memory resources really fast. Um, you might, in some cases, if your computer's not big enough, have to shut down the other the Sun City, because you can migrate into that project without it being up. But I'm going to try to do it with both of them open because I'm feeling really bold. I'm feeling really confident today, so we'll see. I'm going to go to my content here. I am going to um, I'm going to select the Sun Temple map. That's this map. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, Asset Actions, Migrate. Now what you're going to see is a list. What's really important is how is this going to look when it gets there? It's going to start the game directory Sun Temple. And is it going to put any files anywhere else? Nope. So when it arrives, when this actually arrives in my other project, it's going to be game Sun Temple and all of it's going to be here. That's going to be good. That will be fine. So I'm going to say okay. This is good. I've got the blueprints that go with it, even though I do need some of them for God rays and some of the other things. But all of the assets that drive this map, not everything in the project, but only what's really required to make this map work is going to get migrated. So I'm going to click OK. Now I have to say, where is this going? Well, where I want this to go is City Pack 2. And I want it to go into the content folder. Again, I'm going from one project folder to the other. Select folder, gotta be content. It's copying the files. And I probably will have to reopen the other project anyway. So maybe I should have closed it. Because otherwise it doesn't always find things right away. So the migration was good. That means I I can't help myself. File save all. It'll save your life one day. It really will. I'm gonna close this project. Now, in theory, everything's here. Um, but yeah, better. Uh, yeah, it's not registering. So I'm gonna close the project, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go back. And, oh, help if it's get the right one at City Park, and we'll start it. And hopefully I will see what I migrated. Yes, it probably would be better when you're migrating to shut down the project you're migrating to, because Unreal Engine has to go through and find it, see that, oh, there's some additional maps in here now. And let me see what I got. Did I put it in the right place? Game. Oh, did I go to the right place? Audio. All right. I'm just gonna make sure it's not here, sitting here somewhere. Nope. All right. Why didn't it go? Okay, so I'm gonna close. This isn't really. This is what can happen. I've seen this before. It says it was copied. It didn't. Go back to Sun Temple real quick. Probably good to see this kind of thing happens because it could happen to you. Again, we can't progress until we've successfully migrated. I'm gonna again go here. I'm going to say asset action, uh, migrate. All right. Oh, I put it in the wrong one. I did. All right. Nope. It was the wrong one. Okay. So that's what happened. I picked another project other than the one we're working on right now. Okay. So I'm gonna go find the right directory, Sun City. This happens a lot when you have other. Hold on, Sun City, City Park 2 content, and now we're copying it to the right map. Again, when you get multiple versions of these things going, and you're moving things around, you're gonna have to keep track of it. So my old habit is saving, closing. And now I'm gonna go back to Sun City, City Park, load it up, and we should see the sun map in there. Now that we actually moved it to the correct project, that helps a lot. It really does. And we should be good. And let's see if we succeeded. And we did. There's our map. Now, one of the things you want to note here is where is the map file? So I'm going to go down here, maps. This is the map file. This is going to be important. The path is going to be important. You might want to write this on a piece of paper. The /game/Sun Temple/maps Sun Temple. Because we're going to need that when I go to link this in to the game. It's now here. We're going to do two things we need to do. One, we need to open the map. It's good to open the map just to make sure that this project can actually open the map. It gets a chance to bake all the resources and all of that kind of thing. But most importantly, there's one thing we have to change in the map, and that is the game mode. It has to become the lobby game mode. That's because our tour wants to use this map, so it's got to have the game mode in there. You could leave it none, but I prefer to put it in, just so it's there. I know it's going to launch by default that way. Because if you go with the assumption it's none, and then it's not none, it's some other mode, it's going to use the other mode, and the tour could blow up in your face. You don't want that to happen. Again, it's reloading the Sun Temple here from scratch. Um, and that'll take a minute or two to do its thing. I don't know. I cannot pause OBS. It's been a while. I always think it's like, am I taking chances here? I don't know if I have a pause or not. Oh, I'm gonna pause the recording here for a minute until we have loaded the Sun Temple, and then I'll turn it back on. Be back in a sec. All right. We are back. It's now in the process of loading, doing its thing. It did take a while. You got some God rays in here, so it took a little while to compute it. The one thing I want to show here that we're going to need, where did it go? All right, world settings for this particular map. What I want to set this to is, again, this is something they just put together, first person character. I want this to be lobby game mode. and it's still thinking pretty hard right this minute, so it's gonna take a second. We gotta be really careful because we are really pushing the limits here just a bit. Okay, I paused it for a minute while I caught up. You now can see that we have the lobby game mode. These are all set up correctly, so that you will, um, I, I can do this. Yeah, that's actually fine. Uh, that won't be a problem. Again, you could edit this scene now at this point because it's your own copy, add your own stuff. There is something we are going to add that is very important at this point. More of these player controllers because we need them. Yeah. Um, we need to have these here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit, duplicate. Otherwise, we're all going to be piling in on each other. You want to find a bunch. Um, edit, edit. Duplicate. I'm only going to put 3 in right now because I've only got a second person. You would put as many in here as you feel you need. Um, so, yeah. All right. I don't know if I have to change that or not. Here, start. Right. Okay. I don't think so. Yeah. I was just questioning myself that these are default player starts for the camera, but the other characters do come with their own cameras, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. They're here. I'm going to save file, save all. So the map is updated. I'm going to now go, let's start the process of integrating this map into the play game wouldn't work right now. Don't do that. It's going to be strange if you did. All right. The first thing I need to do, I need to modify the the location of where this map is. All right. What I'm going to do that is we are going to go into the project. We are going to go to blueprints. We'll try to make this easier in the future, but for now, this is the way we have to do this. I'm going to go into my lobby, and I'm going to open the lobby GM of game mode. This is the game mode, by the way, that we just installed in this map as well. Now, remember I told you to keep track of where that map was. You need to make sure that we modify this carefully. This has to be correct, or the server travel will fail. So the game part is good. Let's see. It was Sun Temple slash maps slash and the name of the map Sun Temple. This has to be correct or it will not work. This now means that map number 1 in my selector is going to be the city map because that's where that is. And map number 2 is going to be right here. And again, if you're looking about where it is in the overall scheme of things, it's right there. Okay. So this is no longer whichever one you selected going to the same map. We now have 2 places to go to. But it's going to be hard to figure out which is which, right? So we have one other thing we have to modify. Let me check off on my list that we have done this part. we change the thing. We need to, in the menu, we want the menu to reflect that we have an additional location to go to. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to close, I'm going to compile. We always compile when we make changes here. I'm going to close this. And then I'm going to go to UI. I am going to look for lobby. And I'm going to look in the game settings menu. This is where a map we want to display is going to go. And we're going to see it here. We're going to go into the graph to access the blueprints. Now, these are the two things we need to change. I'm going to change the displayed map name. I'm going to leave that City Park, but I'm going to type this to be Sun Temple. Okay, so that's the labeling. Now, remember I said that we need an image. So I've got the image for the city image, but I need an image for here. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to my textures folder real quick and put it in here. And I'm going to go and do an import and grab myself that texture. Now that texture, what drive am I on? There. That texture was in Sun Temple. And I'm going to grab that PNG. So that's now in textures. Let me just make sure that it's there. Yep, we have the texture. And I'm going to hit compile to make sure we save everything. Always fickle about that. And save. And save all. I'm a save fanatic. I cannot stress how it will save you. All right, so the first one I want you to access, of course, the city map. And it already is. Just can't hurt to verify. And in this one, I wanted to find my Sun Temple. Okay, so I have the image for my map, my menu. I have the name that's going to be displayed. I have the image for my Sun Temple, and I have that. I've set my game mode, so we're good there. And I set the map, the travel. I do believe we're good. We're going to compile. I'm going to close this. And if we're not good, the other thing we need to do when you're editing the map is we need to start in main menu because we're launching from within the editor. Don't have to worry about that when you're launching externally because the project tells it to start there. But since I'm going to start from within the editor, I need to make sure that I'm in the main menu. The main menu. I say that 20 times. Main menu. Harder than it sounds. So I'm going to click on my maps folder. Whoop, I got to turn off that filter there. And I want to start in the main menu. And save selected. It does that. Save. Make sure everything is there. Save all. I want to make sure that I am in standalone game 2. We are good. If we've done everything correctly with just those few steps, we are now ready to play. Gonna find out if it wants to play with us. We will find out. And I didn't leave a step out. Don't believe I did. I tried to design it so that all we had to do was get the map in, change the destination, and set up the images so it'll look nice. Let me do my my little cosmetic work here for the sake of the video. Move this over a little bit. I'll grab this guy and move him over a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna start a tour. I'm gonna call it on test. 2 is enough. And here's how I'm gonna know whether or not I set this up correctly. I'm gonna go to set tour settings. I'm gonna see if I can see the map. So you see that I did that. I did set up my map correctly. Did it set up I set the name up correctly, so that's good. The only other part that could go south, that could go bad, is if I'd mislabeled the name. So before someone joins, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take myself there. Um, and then if I can successfully take myself there, we'll have someone come join us. I'll shut it down. We'll start over, and away we go. Or we can be bold. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel bold. Sometimes I don't. You know what? I'm feeling bold. I'm feeling bold. We're gonna join. We're gonna see if I typed the path name correctly. Again, if I didn't, this part goes south. I'll have to fix that, and we'll try again real quick. But I guess if I did, the good news would be, why didn't I find a place? Because you mistyped it. It's always wise for me to suggest the places that, um, you might have had issues. All right, toggle ready. I'm gonna bother setting my avatar here because we're gonna do it when we get there. Oh, why not? I'll just pick an easy one. All right, there we go. And multiplayer is active. Yes, yes, yes. Oops, I forgot to change the destination. I want to accept this as a new destination. Otherwise, we'd have gone to the city park. So you see that how everything stays in sync. I changed the destination. The clients now know, oh, we're going to the Sun Temple now. So let's see if this works. Here we go. I just did this live. That project was not prepared. So starting the tour. Let's see if we get there. Oh my goodness. It looks like we got there. Um, Let me change my character to this. Give it a sec, because there's a lot of... Don't want to crash now. We're so close. So close. Yes. And then I'm going to I'm going to go over here. I'm going to choose my character here. Um, you can don't let this person be the metahuman today. Why not, right? I forgot to do something now. You know what it was? I forgot to remove the menus. So you see when I toggle it off, I can't see. I can't get the menu off. If this happens to your customers, this is why. All right. So this obviously didn't, I goofed up. So I'm just going to say, we're going to leave the lobby and we'll just do this again real quick. I'm going to host a tour. So you get to see the errors so that you know what you're doing. Sun tour. Because if any of your clients don't turn off the menu in chat when we go on the tour, they have no way to turn it off right now. So let me just make sure that we probably got to reset our destination. Okay. Let me find a tour. And this should be taking us to the lobby. I'm gonna change my character just select toggle ready. Yeah, now I'm gonna in my client, the people, my guests, turn off with the T key, turn off the chat with the page key, so that things will be nice when they get there. So now I'm gonna say start tour. Ah, much better, right? Much, much better. Okay, so I'm gonna change my character to metahuman. Give that a sec. Change my character to... we'll choose this one. Give it a sec. And again, walking around with these menus is kind of ugly. So I might hear my disk drive whirling big time, so I'm going to be real careful here. I'm going to hit T. I'm going to leave my chat window up. I'll come up the other one, hit T, and say, welcome to Sun Temple. Hit enter. Wow, this is cool. And again, here we go. Full avatar. I have access to MetaHuman. I have access to the mannequins. All good. Everything's running. I can come over here and I can go my merry way. Look at it, places I want to look. Everything. Going to be less lag on the other customers. Or I can go join the other person where they're at. Again, here's where things have to catch up a little bit. And, oh, you're not looking at me. Again, I got a lot going on my computer. Even 2 sessions on one computer are going to be a bit of lag. I've got OBS running. We're still running the project in the background as well. And there you go. We have a touring system that can be set up for use with any map. That Sun Temple came right off the marketplace, converted to a UE5 project. And with a few easy steps, I mean, as long as this video is, the actual part of connecting up the map took less than 6 minutes. 6 minutes took it up. Um, so it goes quick. Again, you this would be shared with others. This will allow anyone to use it who's built maps to build them off this side. When they're ready to demo it, they will just export it, import it into the tour project, set it up as one of the choices, and have people come take a look at your wonderful artwork using the avatar of their choice. So there you go. Have fun, build away, use the tour system, and phase 1, 2, and 3 completely functional. There we go.